nation. I was sort of constantly giving them my scarf, and I was repeatedly saying to them that I'm going, I'm going to my place, and I will not be coming back until for a long time. And every day, constantly, I was saying this. It's kind of a goodbye to my parents. I was taken away to Darjeeling with Tuksir Rinpoche. And Tuksir Rinpoche was very kind, and really he became like my parents, the second parents of mine. He was very, very kind. Due to his kindnesses, I got all the important teachings of Mudras and 6 yogas of Naropas and all these things from him. I'm very proud of myself to be able to sort of find this kind of master from early age. And as you know, that he's the son of the 10th Drupa. I was recognized as a 12th Drupa. So logically or theoretically, I'm his father. And I think, he feels that too. That's also one of the reasons that you really felt so close and so warm with me, because I remember him saying something about his father, and then at the end of the conversation he said, "Well, it was you anyway, weren't you?" And then I couldn't say anything. I was just smiling, that's all. I didn't know what to say. So I think he really felt that way anyway. And me too. As I said before, it's not exactly a fatherly feeling, but I had a really close feeling to him. Not only after such so many years, but I think for, first moment when I met him, or when I had an opportunity to sort of see him, I sort of felt extremely close to him, and so happy and so thrilled, and which logically it's not believable, because such a small baby fall in love or something like that with a very elderly kind of person, and strangers. As a matter of fact, I was sort of nourished by Tuksir Rinpoche himself, and educated under his guidance. But of course, I do have traditional tutors who were sort of teaching me the scripts and different sorts of philosophies and writings and memories, memorizing books and all these things. We have a lot of books to memorize, which is, I don't know whether it's very, very helpful or not, but anyway, it was very tough, and we had to do this for many, many, many years. So I had many tutors of different sorts of on different sorts of things to learn and to study. But of course, on overall, on top of everything, every tutors, I've been. He's a great sort of he's a great. He's there to sort of look after us, look after me, and he was like buying me lots of toys, fond of buying me momos and all these different things to eat, and all sorts of things. He's very kind, unbelievably kind. But obviously, sometimes he himself does not really have a lot of opportunities that he wanted to do. For example, he wanted to take me to many places, but some of his monks seems to be more powerful than him. So some monks can say, "No, you cannot go," because of some reason, this and that. And Rinpoche cannot really say anything. He just kept quiet. I know that he's not very happy for not being able to take me out, but he cannot do anything. He's very sort of like a very compassionate, and I mean sometimes too compassionate, that he doesn't really have an authority. You know, sometimes I used to get very upset about him. Sometimes I even get a little bit of angry. I remember getting angry also sometime to those monks and all these things. But of course I have no power. I have nothing. Anyway, I'm just a little kid. As there's a saying, you know, your own experiences needs to be seen as an example, and that should be a knowledge, example, or the experiences that you went through, particularly if you have a sort of a hardship or maybe a sort of problematic kind of experiences or difficult experiences. You should treat people nicely because you had a difficult experiences, instead of saying, "Oh, I got a very hard treatment, and I would treat other people also very sort of difficult way." From spiritual point of view, it is not like that. Especially from the Bodhisattva and Bodhicitta point of view, it is not like that. Your experiences has to be a knowledge, and that knowledge really should make you more kind. So this is what we say and what we believe.
法王常说，因为他幼时在严厉的教导下经历非常艰苦的岁月，所以决定不让第二世突厥仁波切和第9世康楚仁波切及美贝玛营杰这些年轻的仁波切及转世祖古经历相同的过程，而他自己则选择扮演宽容上师的角色。
Even though, of course, I had a number of difficult times, but of course, these difficult times are specifically, I think, due to my own lack of diligence and all these things, and then therefore I was sort of treated quite sort of cruelly anyway, and traditionally, if you like. It's not only me. I mean, many of the great masters and many of the living masters were treated like this by their tutors back in Tibet and anywhere else. Anyway, the traditional education is very difficult, I should say that. But I should always be very appreciative also, because the outcome of it is very good. All these educations were very, very important, and it was really helpful. But this is not really specifically the important thing that I'm referring to. I'm talking about. But some of the, I think, for instance, like a general way of looking at life. For instance, these days, I feel very happy for no reason, I would say. I don't really have any reason to tell you why I'm happy. And I can see some of my friends and some of my colleagues, those who had a very, very, very good time when they are young, when they are small, when they are in teen. They had a very good time. But now they somehow going through a tremendous difficulties, and they really don't know what is really the difficulties that they are going through. And they feel lonely, they feel dissatisfied with any sorts of lives, any sorts of conditions, any sorts of friends. But they really don't know what it cost. So in that case, looking at myself, I feel very lucky, and I feel very, very fortunate. And then when I think of this kind of happiness and a kind of comfortable kind of feeling that I have from the depth of my heart, the appreciation goes back to those old days when I had those difficult times under my